Are you tired of just going through the motions every day? What if I told you there's a way that you can live with more intention and on purpose? Hi, my name is Dean, your go-to guy for building wealth. I help people make, manage, and multiply their money so that they can live on their terms. So I want to start this off with talking about living on purpose. I was driving the other day and it just I actually woke up and just understanding what's my purpose? Why am I here? A lot of us, many of us, some of us go through these mixed emotions of I wake up every day, I do the same thing. I feel like life is not fulfilling. I'm not doing anything of substance. So I said, you know what? Let me look deeper into this and talk about this. You're going to want to stick around because this could change your life and the way you look at your goals. So what does living on purpose mean? So living on purpose means making every action count, aligning with everything you do with your core values, your passion, and your ultimate goals. So think about it. Are you spending your days chasing distractions or building up your dreams? Living intentionally means taking control and making deliberate choices that move you closer to the life that you want. Like I keep saying this quote over and over to me, and I also tell it to people when I speak to them. I can do anything, but I can't do everything. Sometimes it's like, oh, I want to invest here. I want to start this business. I want to start that business. You're only one person. You only have 24 hours in a day, and you got to be able to maximize your potential. And that requires you to focus on one thing. Once you have that mastered or you feel like you've accomplished something, then you can say, all right, let me put that down. Let me pick up the next shiny object. You don't want to get into this routine. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, that looks nice. Too many times people do that and then they end up doing nothing. My purpose is clear. It's helping business owners and parents gain financial independence, meaning you don't have to rely on income. You have the money there to do whatever it is that you desire to do on your terms. And that's why I created the Wealth Builders Academy. It's an academy where we hold each other accountable, we share best practices, and we build together around like minded individuals. Have you ever heard the saying, if you're around 5 millionaires, you're bound to become the sixth? That's the whole purpose of the Wealth Builders Academy. And I've left a link down below that you can click. If I left a link down below that you can click to join the Wealth Builders Academy. It's $7 a month. It's cheaper than a Netflix subscription, but more valuable than a Mercedes, I like to say. Going back to what I was saying with living on purpose, it's not just the decision that matters, but it's the small increments that you make forward each day to getting you closer to your goal, your passion, or your values that you believe in. Saying no to what doesn't serve you and saying yes to what does. That's the whole purpose of living on purpose because it guides you. It's almost like a compass. It's like, do I go this way? Nope, that doesn't benefit me. Oh, this is the right direction to go. So think of it almost like a compass. You want to surround yourself with people that uplift you and investing your time in growth activities. This could be a networking event, a mastermind, taking a course. You want to do all these things that align with your purpose. Now, I like to challenge you because this is not just something where you just watch and that's it, right? It's me giving you value, but now it's time to implement it. So I challenge you to reflect on your life. Are your daily actions aligned with your bigger goals? If not, what changes can you make to start living more intentionally? Remember, wealth isn't just about money. It's about living a rich and fulfilling life that aligns with your deepest values. So let's commit to living on purpose and create the life that we always dreamed of. I decided to do a new segment called Stock Talks. So last week, a company called Broadcom caught my eye. They had earnings and they did massively well. And I took some option trades on it and they did very well. So what came to mind for me was, educate the masses about this company and let them know about it as well, because this could be something that they can add to their portfolio or day trade if they choose to. Broadcom, that's the company. It's a company that makes computer chips and other technology parts. These parts help computers, phones, and other devices work better. One question you have to ask yourself whenever you're investing, how does this company make money? This company makes money by selling chips and technology parts to other companies. Now you're like, who buys parts from these guys or chips? 5 companies that you can look up along with Broadcom that buy chips from these guys is Apple, Samsung, Cisco, HP, and Dell. All technology companies that you can literally look into and say, these guys are buying from them. Maybe these companies I'm more interested in versus Broadcom. So that's something that you can look into. And some news about Broadcom. They announced that they're going to be doing a stock split. So depending on when you're watching this video, it may have happened already or it's leading up to it. But they're doing a 10-for-1 split. And as of today, their stock has hit about $1,800. So that's about $180 that it's going to be selling for in the next month. I think it's July that they're going to be doing this. Broadcom also makes software and network equipment that just feeds the ecosystem of technology. So that is my stock talk for this week. Let me know if you found that information helpful and valuable by hitting the subscribe button down below. Top 10 excuses people make when it comes to starting a business. I don't have any good ideas. How many times have you heard that? I have so many ideas, like I don't even know where to start. I have too many ideas. That's me, but I don't let that stop me. Starting a business is risky. I'm nervous about quitting my job. Then don't quit. Just start the business on the side. It's a side hustle. I've started a few different businesses. They do okay, but then I get bored. That's not the business for you. How will I scale this business? Creep before you crawl. Start by just starting. I don't have enough time to create a business. You don't have enough time to create a business because you don't have a schedule. And if you don't have a schedule, then you don't even know where your time is going. So how about you start with a schedule and then work on starting a business? I need more books, do more research, and I'll totally be prepared to start. That's the wrong attitude. When you say stuff like that, you're setting yourself up for analysis paralysis. I need more. I need more. You're just going to continuously feeding the beast of I need more. Just start and work your way up. Every time you have a roadblock, that's when you should stop and then think, okay, how do I get over this roadblock? You figure out your solution, then you try again and you go higher. Each time you do that, you're just going to get higher and higher in the level of your milestones. But when you say, I need to read everything about this subject or watch every YouTube video, your outcome is going to be zero. I'm broke like a joke. I've spent so much money and made $0 profit. Maybe you're spending money in the wrong places. Why not just start without spending money to see if you actually have something that works? I'm not good at marketing. Everybody says that, but if you try and fail, you get to try again. And if you fail, you get to try again. But each time you fail, just change one thing, not everything, because if you change one thing, you can start to isolate where the problem lies. But when you do everything, you're not going to know where the problem actually lies because you're looking at everything instead of just focusing on one thing. And the last is, I'm not techie. I don't know how to technology. That's why you can hire somebody. You don't have to do everything. You can do anything, but you don't have to do everything. Hire somebody smarter than you. Let them take the stress off of your head. And that's my top 10 list for this week. The book I'm reading this week is $1 Million Weekend. I was trying to finish it in the weekend, but life just caught up to me and I was unable to. However, some notes that I took from the book were very, very key with helping people actually start a business. And it made me just reflect on some of the things that I struggled with previously and how to make it easier for myself and others to start a business when they have the next $1 million idea. The first thing you want to do is find people that actually want what it is that you have. And the way that you do that is by asking. If you never ask for the sale can never happen. It was almost like a knock on the head and it's like, oh, it really is that simple. Start by asking for $1. It's that little spark that you need to give you the confidence to ask people for the sale that you are looking for when it comes to your business. Challenge yourself and just ask somebody for $1. Say, hey, I'm starting a new business. Can I get $1? It's simple things like that that lead to you gaining momentum. If you do have that product, but you're afraid to talk to people, asking for $1 is the easiest thing that you could do. It made me reflect when I was younger. I used to ask people for money all the time for lunch. Even though I had lunch money, I don't know why, but I always asked people for money. I was like, hey, give me a quarter, give me $1. And I was like, oh, I need to buy food or whatever. Not saying that I was like struggling, but I was like, if other people are going to give me money, then why not? Not understanding like, hey, if I took that same mentality when I was a child or a teen and use that when I'm an adult now, I wonder how much money people would actually give me because now I'm actually giving them something opposed to them just giving me money. It's an exchange. They're getting value and I'm getting money. So I said to myself, you know what? I need to go back to that person I was when I was a child and ask people for money. But like, I'm asking for money or I'm offering you something in exchange for money. And when the value is high and the price is low, people always buy. That's something that you guys can use with starting a business or gaining the confidence. Start by asking for $1. The next thing or the next issue people have is the fear of starting. Everybody has the 21 questions, 21 million questions, however many questions you have. Just churning their head and be like, but what if this happens? What if that happens? I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and that's exactly what they did. But it was my idea, but they did that. Like, they're pretty much doing it on my behalf. And when I read that in the book, I was like, that's what that person did. And a lot of other people do that as well, where they just keep thinking of everything that could go wrong. Why not think of everything that could go right? Why not think, if I do this, maybe this can actually happen for me? Like, having that positivity in your mind because, if this works for me, what will life be like, or how will things be for me? And that also scares people because they don't know what success feels like, and like, how do you act when you're successful? It's a real thing out there. People are actually afraid to be successful because they don't know what to expect. Like, say you launched like the next $1 million business, and like in 6 months you start making $10 million. You're not gonna know what to do with yourself. That's like winning the lottery. Whereas some people, it takes them 10, 20 years to do that. They kind of just built up that resilience when it's like, oh, this is just money, it's whatever. But when you don't have that background and that hits you, you're like, damn. And that scares people. So they kind of just say, you know what? Maybe I don't want to start. I'll just step back. So the fear of starting and the fear of not asking is what stops a lot of people from having that business that they desire, or bringing that business to the level it needs to be at. Anything that you do for your business, treat it like an experiment. When you're doing an experiment, if something doesn't work, you go back to see why it didn't work, and then you do it again. And you keep doing that until you actually solve your problem. Do the same thing with a business. You're solving a problem. You didn't solve it right the first time? All right, let me change one thing. Let me give you a simple example. You're selling a digital product, you have ads, and then you have the messaging on your landing page. So your ads, maybe who you're targeting could be the wrong people. So that's why you're not converting. Maybe the information on your landing page sucks, so people are not converting. Maybe your actual product or service or freebie that you're giving away doesn't provide value for people. So if you fix one of those things, or you go through each of those things, and if you figure out that this one doesn't work, your product sucks, then you got to start again and figure out, okay, let me make a product that people actually want to buy. It's simple things like that that gets you over the hump and onto the next level. Think of success like a byproduct of doing the same thing over and over again, or more things often. The more you do something, the better you can get at it. I like to use riding a bike because the majority of us know how to ride a bike, or have a bike, or have tried to ride a bike. You get on, you fall off. You get on, you fall off. You get on, you stay on. Now you're riding, but now you're kind of out of control. You're wobbly. Then after, eventually over time, steady control of the bike. And then you could just ride like this. Yep, riding my bike down the road, all that stuff, right? But it comes with doing something more often. So if you feel that you're not making enough sales in your business, maybe you're not pitching to enough people. Maybe you don't have enough ad dollars behind your ads. There's many different things. So you gotta start with whatever the criteria is that you can change, and start with one thing. And if that doesn't do anything, move on to the next thing, and keep doing that until you find that secret sauce, or that problem that you're having, and then just work on that. Once you solve that, you're gonna see results. Today's quote: "Do the thing that you fear, and the death of fear is certain." Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't know if that hit you the way that hit me, but that was powerful. I'm lost for words because it makes so much sense. If you keep doing something that you fear, you're eventually not going to fear it anymore, and you overcome it, meaning that you killed your fear. If you want to make $50,000 a month in sales, what do you need to do? You need to pick up that phone and call everybody that you know. You got to ask people why they're saying no to you. You got to put advertising out there. So you want to be out there, be a social butterfly. If it means going to the local mall, library, wherever it may be, or selling your products like outside of a store, go out there and do that. You will be shocked and amazed at what transpires from it by you putting in the hard work. Imagine you doing the hard work going uphill, and then everybody starts saying, yeah, I like this, I like this. Everything becomes easy for you afterwards because you did all the hard work in the beginning. But when you say, man, I don't want to do this, I'm just going to chill, guess what? And now when it's time for you to really make that effort to get those sales, you need to be up here, but you're down here in the ditch trying to get up here, and you're like, man, this is so hard, I just can't do it. And you lose momentum, and then you just give up. If you do the hard things now, it'll be easier later for you. Repetition is key. How to file bankruptcy. Now you may be saying, why are you telling us how to file bankruptcy? The reason why I decided to do or talk about this is because when A question comes to my mind. I always want to know what the answer is. So I said, why not look it up and figure out how to file bankruptcy for those that maybe are in a situation of filing bankruptcy. Now, it's not the end of the world. Your life can get back on track after the bankruptcy process is been done after 7 years. You may be saying 7 years is a long time. I heard a quote from Bill Gates. We overestimate what we do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. If you're filing bankruptcy for 7 years, you got 3 years right there. That makes 10. Imagine what it is that you could do to get your life back on track in 10 years. I'm going to give you 7 high-level steps that you can use to file bankruptcy. Contact a licensed insolvency trustee. Lit. So you can use a government website to find who that is to help you with the process. You meet with them, you discuss your financial situation, you evaluate alternatives to bankruptcy. So they're gonna be like, maybe you should, shouldn't, type of thing, Then you're gonna submit the documents that's required. You're gonna provide a list of your assets, your liabilities, your income, your expenses. And you're gonna include all the details about your debts and your creditors. Then you're going to have to fill out an application to file for bankruptcy. The trustee prepares the necessary files and the paperwork for you. And then you officially declare bankruptcy. Teardrops. Then you got to attend credit counseling sessions, mandatory sessions, help you manage your finances. You comply with the bankruptcy requirements, surrender non-exempt assets, make required payments, attend creditors meeting if necessary. Then you receive a discharge. Typically occurs after 9 months, first time bankruptcy without objections. You get a discharge, but it still stays on your record for 7 years. So you have this ugly stain on your credit report that nobody's gonna touch you because you filed bankruptcy. So what can you do after filing bankruptcy? You can keep exempt assets. So that's like your basic clothing, furniture, tools for work, some equity in your home. Receive credit counseling, so that helps you improve your financial management skills. You rebuild your credit post-discharge. So you start with a secured credit card and small loans, if they allow you to. What you can't do now, keep non-exempt assets. So luxury items, investment, extra vehicles might be sold to pay off creditors. If you have luxury items or investments, gone. Obtain new credit easily. So it's gonna be very hard because you have that negative impact on your credit report. So your credit score is going to be very, very low for at least 7 years. If it's your second time filing bankruptcy, I believe they say it's 14 years. So you don't want to get to bankruptcy twice. If you file bankruptcy personally, that means you shouldn't be doing anything under your personal name. You should be opening up a corporation. Because if the corporation files bankruptcy, guess what? That doesn't have to do anything with your personal name and your assets. You're protected. Your corporation is a separate entity. What you can't do is discharge certain debts. So student loans that's less than 7 years old, you can't get rid of that. Child support, can't get rid of that. Alimony, court files are not to be discharged as well. So those things won't get discharged. You still have to pay for those things. Travel without permission. Yo, that's crazy. Like, you're literally stuck in the country. Need trustee approval to leave the country during bankruptcy. Yo, that one, that's kind of scary still. Like, I don't want to be able, like, not to go where it is where I choose to go because I filed bankruptcy. So you want to be very careful of what you do when it comes to filing bankruptcy. If it's the last thing that you need to do, then you got to do what you got to do, right? But if it's going to impact you in what I just mentioned, then bankruptcy is not the way you want to go. So reach out to the insolvency person, the LITs. Reach out to them and see what solutions they can provide for you before having to file bankruptcy. Usually what people do is file consumer proposals versus bankruptcy. So it's like one level below bankruptcy, and it's not as bad. It doesn't last as long, but that's something that you could also do as well. Here are 8 reasons why people file bankruptcy. Unmanageable debt, creditor pressure, give me more money, legal actions, prevent asset loss, fresh financial start, stop interest and penalties, mental relief, structured repayment.